One Piece is the most iconic and popular anime slash manga to ever come out. With almost 900 chapters released so far and over 430 million volumes sold, it only trails Harry Potter for books sold for a series, which is around 500 million. Ever since I started One Piece about 3 years ago, I've been in love with the series. Outstanding characters, the best world building I've ever seen, an engaging story, and so many memorable moments. It's just the tip of the iceberg on why I love One Piece so much. What I want to talk about today is a specific villain in the current Whole Cake Island arc that has rose to the top of my favorite villain lists in all of One Piece to this date. And that person is Katakuri. Before I go any further, I would like to give you all a spoiler warning for the rest of this video. I'll be talking about the content that covers up to chapter 893, which is the latest chapter to be released at the time of this recording. If you're an anime only watcher or haven't caught up to One Piece and don't want to be spoiled, this is your spoiler warning. When we first entered the Whole Cake Island arc, everybody was looking forward to the Straw Hat Crew's first battle with the Yonko. Luffy and the crew was trying to rescue Sanji from Big Mom, and even though we thought the crew wasn't going to defeat Big Mom, we were kind of expecting the fight between her and the crew to be the climax and big fight of the arc. Now the crew did fight Big Mom for a few chapters, and those chapters were great. It was amazing seeing the crew using their teamwork so effectively to weaken and damage Big Mom. Starting off with Jinbei using the seawater attack that weakened Big Mom, and then Brooke slicing up the homie Big Mom was riding on, and then Nami using that moment to hit her with a lightning strike was amazing. That being said, that fight really wasn't the big climactic fight of the arc. Instead, we are treated from Oda the Luffy vs Katakuri fight. Katakuri is the second son and third child of Big Mom, and is one of the three sweet commanders in Big Mom's crew. This dude is also extremely tall, being over 16 feet tall, and just looks flat out intimidating. So from an art design perspective, he is one of the best looking villains to this date. He ate the mochi mochi fruit, which gives him the power to create mochi and control it. Now this power is very similar to Luffy's power because of the way Katakuri uses his powers. Katakuri is able to stretch out his mochi like Luffy does with his body parts. He's able to change the shape and concentration of the mochi like Luffy does with the elephant gun attack. He also possesses the Conqueror's Haki just like Luffy, which is extremely rare and powerful. So as you can see, Katakuri is sort of like Luffy's mirror matchup, which makes it an interesting fight to follow. It's also very fitting that they're fighting in the mirror world with this mirror matchup. However, his personality is what really makes him stand out to me. In Big Mom's crew, he's known as the strongest person besides Big Mom. He constantly backs and protects all of his siblings and won't let anybody harm or badmouth them. Everyone in the family looks up to him as this unbeatable, perfect person who has no flaws. He always stays focused, never loses his cool, and he doesn't underestimate his opponents. Even during the wedding ceremony between Sanji and Pudding, he was the only one that was on alert for an attack, and that paid off. In the story, there's a rumor going around that he's never even laid on his back before, as that would be shameful, and laying on your back shows that you are vulnerable and a weak position. So as you can see, he's regarded very highly in the family as someone who is perfect. This alone makes him extremely intimidating and terrifying villain for the Straw Hats to go up against. However, Katakuri has another side to his character that is great. Katakuri absolutely loves sweets and literally goes crazy over them. He hides this fact from his family because he doesn't want them to see this personal side of him. We are first revealed to this side of him during the battle between Luffy and Katakuri in the Mirror World. Katakuri thinks he defeated Luffy and creates a mochi house, tells these chefs to bring him snacks but not to enter his house. As it turns out, Luffy was not defeated and breaks into the house to see Katakuri laying on his back eating sweets with his huge deformed mouth. I absolutely love this side of him. Just seeing him enjoying himself eating some sweets and on his back had me cracking up and encompasses everything I love about One Piece. I also want to talk a bit about his attitude while he's battling Luffy. Firstly, this guy is strong and definitely one of the toughest opponents Luffy has gone up against. He helps demonstrate just how strong a Yonko's right-hand man is supposed to be. The fight has been pretty one-sided so far, with Katakuri clearly being stronger person at the moment. However, Luffy was able to land a few hits onto Katakuri during the fight, and he mentions that it's the first time someone has been able to in years. As the fight goes on, Katakuri begins to give Luffy more and more respect for his strengths and determination and will not to give up. He respects Luffy enough that he wants the fight to be a fair one-on-one battle with no interference. While they are fighting, one of the Charlotte sisters, Flambe, is watching and is absolutely in love with Katakuri. She looks up to him and sees him as a perfect person. So, she comes up with ideas that if she helps Katakuri defeat Luffy, she will be able to get closer to Katakuri. Right before Katakuri does a spear attack, she shoots the needle at Luffy, which forces him to lose his concentration on Katakuri. Because he lost concentration, he takes a fatal hit from him, and this pisses off Katakuri. He realizes that Flambe was interrupting their fight and storms off to her. Flambe is trash-talking Luffy by calling him a monster and that he should give up. Once Katakuri reaches Flambe, he reveals his mouth to her and stabs himself in front of her so that him and Luffy can be on the same level and tells her to never interfere with his fights again. His blood splatters on Flambe and she is in total shock of what happened. Her perfect image of her brother is completely shattered. She then proceeds to call him a monster and threatens to expose this side of him to the whole Charlotte family. Meanwhile, Katakuri couldn't care less and just walks back to Luffy, apologizes for the dirty fight, and chapter 893 ends with them getting ready for the final fight. This is such a great moment for Katakuri. It shows how much he respects a strong opponent such as Luffy by sticking up for them after they got hit by a cheap shot and were trash talked by someone else not even in the fight. He doesn't want to beat his opponent because of a cheap shot, so he levels the playing field by giving himself a similar wound that he gave Luffy. This dude is a man of honor, and I love that. It also shows how much he cares about his family though too. When the three chefs saw his face and his weak side of him, he immediately executed them because he didn't want anybody to find out about his goofier side. However, when Flambe sees this and insults him, he doesn't even touch her, but instead just yells at her and walks away. This shows that he truly cares for his family, even at the expense of him being possibly hated on by them. In conclusion, Katakuri is one of the best One Piece villains we've seen in a long time. He has a unique and intimidating character design, a deep and interesting personality, and has been a strong mirror match opponent for Luffy to face. He may not have been given the hype or foreshadowing some villains have gotten, such as Doflamingo, but Oda has been able to write him so well that he just tops the list. I thank you all for watching.